Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine the light and talk with business leaders from all over the world who are coming together to share their wisdom and insights so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, co-founder of HLH Growth Solutions. We help businesses scale revenue using outside-the-box visibility strategies. And today, I'm excited to be chatting with my guest, Matt Yaari, with My Family Home Care. So welcome, Matt, to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Heidi.
Absolutely excited to be talking with you. So, Matt, can you start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself, about My Family Home Care, and your role within the company?
Certainly, yeah. Well, I grew up here in the Metro Detroit area, and I started My Family Home Care in 2020 over the summer. It was sort of a vision of mine that I had for a few years, and I was planning to get this business started, and then COVID hit, which kind of added some uncertainty. But once the summer rolled around, I decided it was time to just move forward. I recognized there was a huge need for senior care. This is a highly in demand service. It's something that I had worked as a caregiver when I was a student many years ago, so I was very familiar with the nature of the work and what's involved and the personal connections that you develop. And at that point in my life, I just knew it was time for me to just start my own business and jump off the proverbial cliff, as they say, and just dive in head first and figure things out as I went along.
That's the way to do it. Kind of like, if you stall, then you're not going to grow. And sometimes we just need to take the leap, and action brings clarity and learn from there. So how did you have a background in brain behavior and hospitality. So how did that shape your vision for creating your business?
So my degree is in brain behavior and cognitive sciences. Originally, when I was in school, my plan was to go to medical school. And so I studied, it was really a combination of psychology and neuroscience. And as pre-med student, that's how I started working in senior care as a nurse aide. And so, I don't know if my degree has a ton of direct influence over what I do as a business owner. I certainly am very interested in psychology and human behavior. And, what's been very interesting for me is, again, being able to work with seniors and see people in this very final stage in their life, and the different issues that can happen as they decline cognitively. But again, I'm not a psychiatrist or a neurologist or anything, so I'm not diagnosing them. It's almost more of like I guess I would say like a philosophical thing, like really get to see the human condition and the different ways that we age and the family dynamics and things like that are involved in that final chapter in life. So it's just been a very interesting opportunity to see people in this particular state. So I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. So My Family Home Care, you emphasize comfort and familiarity. So how do you maintain a sense of personalized care while also scaling operations across multiple communities?
Certainly. So me and my business partner are very involved with each case, and we review the notes. Every caregiver who works a shift with their client, they have to note what they do. And we have a CRM that facilitates that makes it very easy for us to check in and see what's going on. And we're just very involved in checking in with the families, making sure that they're happy. Depending on the client, depending on what they need, we'll go out and visit them in their home and just kind of check up on things. And we're now in the process of implementing some AI solutions, some different tools to help us manage our staff and the schedule. So that is that's literally under construction right now. We haven't rolled it out yet, but we're very excited to see what that can do for us. And we're also, again, in the process of identifying caregivers to elevate to a managerial position where they can really be on top of some of those things and allow us to step back and empower them to take on more of a leadership role.
So, and you've expanded your offerings. So I know you're using AI now to support you in the back end systems and with your staff. You've also expanded your offerings from Alzheimer's and dementia care to also fall prevention and music therapy, which is very interesting. What guides your decisions in adding new specialized services?
Yeah, so I mean, we're always looking for different ways that we can service our families depending on what it is that they need. Obviously, Alzheimer's and dementia is very common, so that's something that families need a lot of help with, and we train our staff to be able to work with those behaviorally challenging clients and things like music therapy. So that was interesting. That was somebody, a friend of a friend was the music therapist, and she just kind of recommended that we get in touch with her. And she does a fantastic job. And it's just another way, again, when a senior is maybe suffering from a form of cognitive decline, their communication isn't necessarily there. It can be very difficult to keep them mentally stimulated and prevent them from just sitting and watching TV all day, every day. So music therapy is a great way to get them to engage in something, and it just kind of fit like a glove. We've noticed that over the course of this journey, it's just funny how certain things just kind of fall into place perfectly for you, like that. People have been extremely supportive and making those connections for us. And I think you also mentioned fall prevention. Falling is it's my understanding is the number one source of injury and hospitalization for seniors. So that's something, if you're going to be working with the senior population, you have to be on top of that. And again, our caregivers are trained. If they're working with someone who is a fall risk, you got to be there very nearby every time and make sure that they're able to use the bathroom, get in and out of bed, transferring safely, and be close by if they are unsteady on their feet. So we really try to cater our services to the needs of every case. And every case is a little bit different. And whatever it is that we're able to do to make sure that they're safe, that they're being cared for, that they're eating, taking their medications, we're here for that.
Yeah, and in your testimonials, it shows that your families really mention trust and you all going above and beyond for your patients. So as a founder, how do you lead with both purpose and operational effectiveness?
Purpose and operational effectiveness. Yeah, those are good questions. I think it really comes down to, why did we start this business in the first place? What are they say your core values? That's the reason we named the company My Family Home Care. Is I wanted to approach this as if our clients are family members. I want them to see us as if we are family members. Me and my business partner, if needed, will step in and we'll work the shift ourselves, in case the caregiver is not able to show up and we're not able to find somebody. Or sometimes it's an emergency situation. We've had it, several times where a family might call us and they have somebody coming home from the hospital and they just need some assistance right now. And so I'll go over there and spend a few hours and then help him or her, whoever it is, transition back home and then make sure that that all goes smoothly. And it just starts from there. I think it starts from being willing to show up yourself, and then you just kind of find the right people who are on board with that type of commitment to providing the service.
So you shared that, you step in and families can reach out to you, whether it's a short-term engagement or a long-term. Sometimes it's an emergency situation. I'd like to switch gears to visibility and marketing, since we just kind of led into that. How are you standing out? You have competitors. You're not the only game out there as far as like home health care and taking care of the seniors in the space that you do. So how are you getting in front of the families that you serve? Who are the types of families, if you have a specific like niche? And first of all, so if our listeners, or for our listeners, that somebody may need your services with one of their loved ones. And second of all, how are you staying in the forefront and getting in front of the families that you serve so that when they're ready or they need you, you're top of mind? Is there some things that you've done that are working really well? And are there some other things that you've tried that just haven't worked well?
Yeah, so just to get our business up off the ground, the first thing we did was we just told everybody that we knew Me and my business partner, our friends, our family, um, just put the word out there that we are providing this service. And again, that's how we found our first client, and a lot of word of mouth from there. Um, so that's been, quite a bit of our business is just friends of previous clients who, obviously they were happy with the service. Um, so reaching out to our personal networks first and foremost, and then we've been involved with other networking groups, things like BNI, Chamber of Commerce. We've made some connections that way. Um, there has been a recent, obviously, with the an aging population, there's now a whole new career path of placement specialists and senior care advisors who are mostly social workers that work with families who are really struggling with their situation, and they often assist with picking the right facility. If making determining what the right decision is a facility the right thing to do, and which one might be the best fit. So we've been making a lot of connections with those social workers who are both placement specialists or discharge planners at rehab facilities and hospitals, where families might really be in need of this type of service. So it's a lot of networking and getting people to just know that we're here and we're there for them. And right now, what I'm really studying and what we're planning to implement very soon is more, I guess you would call it information marketing. I don't know if that's the word for it, but putting out educational resources to local families who may have an aging loved one, and different things that they might need to know to prepare, and promoting other local services that might be helpful for them to know about. But starting off as an educational resource and an authority in this field, and then when they do need caregivers and that hands-on assistance, they'll already be familiar with us because, we've been sending them, newsletters, postcards, things like that, just with helpful information that is pertinent to their situation. So, we're just whatever we can do to put our information out there in front of people, we're willing to give it a try.
Yeah, it's like try different things and see what's working, keep doing what's working, and push what's not working to the side and keep going. And there's all different ways. And networking is a great way. We're hearing from a lot of our guests on the show that networking is a big way of getting out there, and person in front of people too. Is since the pandemic's ended, people are getting out there now person to person, and that's been really helping them as well. So can you share with us, Matt, some of the challenges that you faced when you started and compare to where you are now in your growth journey, and how did you overcome them?
Oh boy, how much time? Um, we're like any other startup. We really started from scratch, and every little detail of the business, we just kind of had to figure it out as it came along, from our hiring process to how to manage the staff, learning what it is that the families want, how to best communicate with them, and really reassure them that they're receiving the care that they're looking for. Um, we're solving problems all the time, so it's a lot of logistics. How do we manage our staff? How do we manage call offs? You know, source of stress for us and the families. It happens all the time. Let's say a caregiver is having car trouble, or they get sick, and they're not able to make their shift. So one, I guess, solution to that would have been, we've put together an on-call system. So we have our scheduled staff, and then we also have basically our backup staff that are expected to be available in those situations, so that we always have, so that we're not just scrambling to just text everybody. We already know who's available to, reach out to them, and have them cover that last minute shift to ensure that we're always showing up. That was one of the big things. And obviously, as we grow, there's going to be different problems and things coming up, and we'll do the best that we can to be on top of that.
So what's next, Matt, for My Family Home Care over what's the big goals for the next 12 months?
As I mentioned earlier, we are like right now in the process. We haven't rolled anything out, but putting some AI tools in place to help us manage our staff, especially like those call off situations. If we have, again, an AI that can just blast our on-call team and any other caregiver that may be appropriate for a shift. are also looking into some AI systems that might be able to be installed into a client's home. So it's basically a couple different speakers where it records what's going on in the home to alert anybody if somebody has fallen or there's some type of emergency. Something might happen when nobody's there. And as I mentioned before, we're also going to be getting into creating these educational resources to hand out to our community and just help people prepare for what the challenges of caring for an aging loved one who is physically and mentally declining. It puts a lot of stress on families, especially if they're ill prepared. So we want to again provide resources to help families really think about this and have these conversations with their parents or grandparents. Have it early when they're still mentally alert and they can communicate their preferences, rather than you see their memories start to decline and then it just becomes very difficult to communicate. So these families might want to have some sort of a plan in place ahead of time. And we want to communicate best strategies, things that we have seen has worked well to help facilitate managing that whole process.
So if I could give you a magic wand, I could hand it to you through Zoom here, and you could wave it over one challenge you're having right now or one issue that could hold you back from achieving your goals, and you can go poof and make it disappear. What would that one thing be and why?
Um, what problem would we want to wave away with a magic wand?
Are we good?
Having too much power right now. I suppose, man, if we could just have an infinite database of caregivers, that would be pretty cool. But we have a very good staff and a pretty deep roster of caregivers that we could reach out to. I guess the magic wand is, being able to take care of those situations, which I guess we've been able to do. Maybe that's a waste of the magic wand. Um, I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about that.
Okay, we'll bring you back in a year. So if I could bring you back in a year, 12 months from now, and we'll ask you that question again. But if we could bring you back in a year and revisit this conversation, what does success look like for you?
A year from now, for now we're on track to do our first $1 million in sales for this year. So I'm very happy about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then next year, assuming we hit 1 million, we'd probably like to do at least 1.5 million next year. And if we're able to do that, and if we're able to implement these AI systems to help smooth out our operations, then that would be certainly a huge help for us.
Fantastic. So how can people reach out to you, for those listening and going, I need to learn more about my family home care and learn more and reach out to you? They want to connect with you. How can they do that?
Absolutely. They can check out our website, www.myfamhc.com. So they can check us out there. We're about to have a blog go live, so we're going to be posting some of those informational resources there. And they can always give us a phone call at 248-68004. You can get a hold of myself or my business partner. His name is Guy. You can reach out to us directly on that phone number, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Perfect. So if you're watching us on YouTube, Matt and I thank you. And leave Matt a comment below. Let him know you heard him here. And also hit that subscribe button so that we can notify you when we have more amazing guests like Matt on the show, because they're here spending time sharing with you not only about what they do in their business and how they're impacting the world, but also how they're growing, what's working for them and what's not working for them to support you in your business growth. If you know of anybody that could benefit from My Family Home Care, then please share this episode with them so they can get the care and the support that they need for their loved ones. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, thank you, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or any of the other ones. And if you can leave a review, if it allows you to do that, we would love 5 stars. That helps us allows the platform and helps us get pushed out to more people so that more people can learn about My Family Home Care and Matt and what they're doing in the world. I promised y'all a gift, I think, at the beginning. So if you're looking to grow your visibility and you feel like you've been trying all the things, Matt's shared what's been working for him, and you just feel like you're not growing in the way that you want to, or the way that that's to reach your goals, then go ahead and grab our Spotlight to Scale blueprint. You can go to spotlight to scale.com/blueprint. And don't forget, go to myfamhc.com to go check out My Family Home Care, and all of the links also for reaching Matt, connecting with them, as well as the website will be in the show notes. So if you're driving, don't worry, we've got you. Go check out the show notes. Matt, before I let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to share that I didn't ask you or we didn't touch on today?
Anything else I'd like to share?
Regarding what you do and you.
We covered all the main points. Remember to tell your loved ones that you love them. It's also one of the biggest takeaways for me has been just recognizing how precious your time is. We're not here forever, and it can be very easy to be upset and frustrated with the people that are closest to you, your loved ones in particular. And, I know that I have just become so much more patient with my family and really try to enjoy my time with them as much as I can.
Well, beautiful final words to lead us out of the interview. So thank you for that. Yes, that's an important piece. Remember to tell the people that you love them. And no matter what space you're in relationship wise, let them know that you love them, and because you never know what tomorrow brings. So thank you, Matt, for those words of wisdom. Thank you for being here today and spending time out of your busy day. Thank you all for listening to Matt and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlights.